Right, let's dive straight into this explainer. Because if you thought you had Group C of the 2026 World Cup all figured out, well, you might want to completely rethink everything. Today, we are looking at exactly how Morocco tore up the script against a legendary Brazilian team in New York. We're going to break down the numbers, the history, and the shocking reality on the pitch that literally turned this tournament on its head.
To really grasp what went down, we have to talk about the sheer, crushing weight of history on Brazil right now. 24 long years a footballing nation of this caliber has been waiting for another World Cup title. I mean, it's an entire generational gap for a country that treats football like a religion. Every single player stepping onto that pitch carries the immense pressure of those 2.5 decades.
And yet, with all that anticipation, we get this massive record-scratch moment right off the bat. 0. You heard that right, 0. Despite having the most decorated manager in history pacing the sidelines and a squad absolutely packed with superstars, Brazil couldn't manage a single shot in the opening 10 minutes. 0 offensive output. For a team that desperate to end a 2-decade drought, that is a staggering, almost unbelievable statistic.
Section 1. The weight of history. So look, they didn't just show up. They arrived with the absolute pinnacle of the European elite. We're talking Carlo Ancelotti taking charge of his first ever World Cup match. And on the pitch, Vinicius Jr., arguably the best player at Real Madrid, stepping out for his 50th appearance for Brazil. This was not a squad in transition. This was a team armed with the absolute best in the business, ready to take back their throne.
And the historical momentum behind them? It's honestly unfathomable. I mean, Brazil hasn't lost an opening World Cup match since 1934. Think about how many lifetimes that is. Going into this tournament, they boasted 17 wins and 4 draws in a row in openers. Tonight was supposed to be business as usual. Match 22, unbeaten.
Section 2. Tearing up the script.
Because the disparity right out of the gate was just mind-boggling. In those first 10 minutes, while Brazil sat on that stunning goose egg, Morocco fired off 5 shots. 5! They didn't just show up to park the bus and absorb pressure from the Brazilian giants. No way! They came to dominate from the very first whistle, completely flipping the expected dynamic.
And, that relentless early pressure actually paid off. By the 21st minute, they dismantled the Brazilian defense, literally step by step. Brahim Diaz threads this perfect through ball, finding Sabari in acres of space right between the center backs. The finish? A totally cool chip over Alisson, who's easily one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Morocco 1, Brazil 0. Right there in New York, the unthinkable happened.
What this beautiful, calculated goal proved is something absolutely crucial. Morocco's historic 2022 run, where they became the first African team to ever reach the World Cup semifinals, that was no fluke. They are no longer just a fun underdog story. They have firmly stamped their ticket as undeniable contenders for the 2026 title.
Moving on to Section 3, a broken winning streak.
Now, when a giant like Brazil gets cornered, they look to their superstars, right? Enter Vinicius Jr., making sure that 50th cap counted. He gets the ball way out wide on the left, almost no angle, absolutely no space to operate, but he just cuts inside and buries it into the top corner. A moment of pure, sheer individual brilliance to tie the match at 1-1.
But here, right here, is where the whole unscripted nature of this match hits you. Historically, the past 8 times Vinny Jr. scored for his country, Brazil won. 8 for 8. It was basically a cheat code for a guaranteed victory. But against this relentless Moroccan squad, the old rules went straight out the window. The streak shattered, resulting only in a draw.
And honestly, walking away with a draw was incredibly lucky for the Brazilians. 99. We are talking about the 99th minute of the match, where Brazil survived by the absolute skin of their teeth. They needed a miraculous double save from Alisson right at the death just to hold on to that 1-1 scoreline. It was a nail-biter down to the very last second.
Which brings us to Section 4, Chaos in Group C. Satisfied? Not really. That is a direct quote, post-match, from Carlo Ancelotti. Just let that sink in for a second. The most decorated manager in football history, just one single game into his very first World Cup, openly admitting he's not satisfied. It speaks absolute volumes about the shockwaves this performance sent through the Brazilian camp.
That dissatisfaction? It comes from a really harsh new reality. See, Brazil has topped their World Cup group every single time since 1982. It's one of the most reliable streaks in all of sports. But after failing to put away Morocco and looking pretty uncertain while doing it, that historic multi-generational record is in very serious jeopardy.
Because just look at the state of Group C right now. It is completely upside down. Defying pretty much all laws of football physics, Scotland is hitting at the very top of the table as group leaders. Scotland. Meanwhile, Brazil is stuck with an unconvincing draw, Morocco has cemented themselves as a total nightmare matchup, and Haiti is waiting in the wings. I guarantee you, absolutely no one had this on their bingo card.
So, looking ahead to the next few days, the stakes are just massive. Brazil is up against Haiti next. On paper, sure, that's the easiest match in the group, but after tonight, Haiti is going to smell blood in the water for sure. Meanwhile, Morocco takes on the current group leaders, Scotland. The battle for the top is wide open, and the drama in Group C, yeah, it's not done. Not even close.
Which leaves us with this final provocative thought. The game has changed. Have you? Brazil waited 24 years. They brought in Ancelotti, they unleashed Vini Jr., and yet they still barely scraped a 1-1 draw and walked away with a frustrated manager. If historical dominance and superstar records can't guarantee a win anymore, are you ready for the new reality of international football? Thanks for joining this explainer, and we'll see you as the rest of Group C unfolds.